and analysis, as well as the education, the network, the Institute for Democratic Governance, and the Institute for Statistical Social. I say thank you to the delegations from the political parties and presidential acts in the plenary and breakout sessions. Ben has introduced many of them, so thank you. Ghana Independent Broadcast Association, ensuring that today's conversation finds its way into households across Ghana through our news media to deepen our collaboration with them going forward. My gratitude goes to the representative of the World Bank and the Development Bank and serve as a model for other African countries in tackling their own political economy challenges and safeguard civil society organizations and academia whose support have been vital for the compact process. And partnership have come from Nairobi to help us with our deliberations, to create action plans with concrete reforms. Thank you for your support. Today, how we got here and what we hope comfortable truth. Over the past few periods of strong growth, but this has not translated into better hits. We are about, and this is not just anecdotal, it's on economic transformation at the country level. Shows that Ghana scored just 19.1 out of a post of 30.3. The ATI exposes how Ghana has backtracked on product diversification and we are not transforming. And we are not making anyone's life particularly better. As I and several colleagues worked this unfold, we knew it was that citizens' concern could form the cornerstone of a new political. At the official launch of the compact in December 2022, I shared my inspiration for why we tackle the fundamental challenges we face, such as the growing polarity must be reformed for today's resources into the economic and a fiscal framework which makes development planning difficult. The goal of the compact is threefold. First, to provide a second, to outline collective tracking progress towards the balance to our democratic process. Absolutely. Rather than, as Kwame Nkrumah once said, a challenge that calls for the courage to ambition, the courage to in the fullest greatness. Statement beautifully, some who have kept the faith, civic engagement. By Ghana's leading policy institute, climate change, the range of experts and policymakers then came for building partnership and hosting discussions to address them. I compare technical papers with them in the hopes that the base. It is for this reason that we have partnered with the NCC of Ghanaians. I'm delighted. Thank you for coming. This that over the next 2 days, using the conclusions of the technical consultations contract. This document that outlines our country's collective aspirations and goals between now and 2050. The social contract will stress the need to plan and manage finances responsibly, the well-being of people over politics. For citizens, ethics of hard work will help us get there, providing an opportunity dialogue on values, addressing mindset and social responsibilities, sessions on governance and corruption, and the actual outcomes. Accountability mechanism to ensure that, once again, I thank you all for your presence and participation. As Richard Haas, an American diplomat and former head of the Council on Foreign High School or college or university, is an issue that I hold dear to my heart. And it's one of, I remember how my brother and I, who get a glimpse of the policymakers who were setting the course for our young nation. My father taught take either. for granted. The flaws in the system that needs fixing and timeless. If you remember song we just heard, Yaranafa or not prosper depends on the character of the citizens. That is what the compact is all about. And I'm said over the past 2 years, when I envision the future of our country, I do so through the MENA. Is no different from the common desire I previously expressed. The next 2 days, to getting a few steps closer, grandchildren, and for all those who follow. Thank you very much.
Here I am, without going through the speech, a couple of things to reiterate. 3 key solutions, and then to identify targets and track progress. Very important. The vision will be shared. Beautiful quote there. Rather than be intimidated by our ambitions, we will be emboldened by our challenges. Reiterate a few points. After which we would open the floor if there are any questions, particularly from our students, and we want to acknowledge the various groups. So we'll do that after acknowledge the presence of the Secretary General of the TUC, Dr. Yauba. He joined us in commission. Dr. Kojo Mensa Abrompa. Yes. Wonderful. We also have a former flag bearer of civil society groups here. If you have a civil society organization, just give me a wave. Let's put hands together for civil society groups. They've been our friends from the diplomatic community. Very privileged to have our traditional leaders. Please pardon me for not acknowledging you in the first round. Please put your hands together for our traditional rulers. So thank you very much, PY. Thanks for you. My first question is, it's been a long journey. 2022, thereabouts, you launched this. One or two of the most heartening or gratifying accomplishments along this.
That Kathy and the NCC are the leads. We stay in Accra. We agreed on some of these critical issues. So going out Accra and bringing citizens their concerns. We have a report. They understand the issue and they will hear them. So to me, that has been.
See would come in after this session. So Kathleen, we're waiting for you. Second question.
The sense in this country, let's be honest, and that's when I started the compact, even people, some of my own colleagues, then I said, it means, this will take us anywhere. That has some of the discussion. People say, oh, yeah, you are right. And every day I'm going to do, if I see all these young people, medical who are just leaving this country. So that to me has been tough.
So the sense of exasperation.
I think to me what makes the compare some of the things I was saying today, the fact that what Ifrim Mahmoud said, if a nation up front, it's very easy to blame everything on the politicians, on this, on leader. But coming up with what we call a social contract is so important. We'll be talking a lot more when we go into the details on the accountability mechanism in democracy. I believe in multi-party democracy. In my 50 years in development, working across this country, I've seen it. Kagame is my friend. Melis I work with. I can go on one man rule. And then finally, we brought our multi-party democracy. I will never give that up. Democracy, we need to preserve it, secure it. And when you talk about media being the bedrock of and safeguarding our democracy, including the necessary constitutional.
I want to open the floor if there are any one or two quick comments. There are various people. How do you feel about it? How plugged in are you with a question? There's another one here. Just a few quick comments. Please come to the 3. Wonderful. All right. So just go straight to the point. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you make of the compact process so far. Try it again. All right, sound guys. As I said, this is streaming on a number of platforms. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
My name is with the various citizens across the regions, Western. What needs to be done about the economy? Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Thank you for your question.
Osman, representing Association of Small Scale Industry from the Bono during the presentation of our father. In fact, I'm also adding up my voice that I thought it wouldn't have been opposition, the smaller parties. I am a bit convinced that Ebeye.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Well, I'm Alhaji Mohammed Frimpong, the Secretary General of the National Democratic Party. I liken our to sound a bit mathematical here. You know, our democracy, what we are doing is trying to place the apex rather. We want the object to stand on its apex. And, the insufficiency of the processes of democracy, there are certain consequences, like effecting and placing what I call the object of democracy properly on its page. And just like Doctor said, if analogy is probably what is happening, that is why people lack that confidence. So, in short, what and how does the compact remedy this situation?
Wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Comment. First one, he says, Ebeye, he agrees with you. Alhaji Frimpong, the triangle on his head. If you have the mic, you can just make a couple of comments on that. I really want students to question. So if I...
There are a lot of details
Yes.
on what happened at the seasonal convention. Kathy will take us through some of this. But a couple of things that I remember that our educators, our education, the issue of free secondary, high school education, people think it's a great idea, but. So in this discussion today, what could be done based upon our analysis and these conversations. And there was a lot about the private sector.
Yeah.
And they bring it up. So that's another issue that also struck us. So
those are some of the two. All right.
The question on the constitution and the gentleman Chairman Sabonsu, who has been working with us and leading this constitutional review implementation committee, have come out with some fantastic recommendations. Constitution much better and supporting. I guess 4 years, 8 years at most. Another recommendations in the constitutional reform is to make the mixture, building upon the lessons from other countries.
Wonderful.
Lessons will be as specific change.
The second question was an endorsement of a position. I'll take students, if you're a student, because there will be chance to talk as make sure the mic is on, the light, put it on.
I am Franklin Afo, President of Civic Education Institutions. I want to know whether the compact is going to end just as such, and the existing institutions that we have, statutory institutions, and if it becomes non-statutory, people engagement is less. It's voluntary that the turnout is. I think the time has come that we're making the CEC.
Any more students? Yes, sir. The gentleman in front.
Civil Club, the president, level 400. I actually want to thank can probably answer it for me. Our compact is not different from that. At the end, there is a mismatch in them, and then what they aim at doing, chasing place. That will ensure that for various institutions, as my brother kindly mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Very honest with me. Can he admit that his generation, that's the youth of this country? Because if you look into the auditorium, but the truth is that things get very worse every day. Ghana is not safe for us. If things continue to be the way they are, I will School of Law, final year.
Wonderful. Yes. And then this one wants you to admit that you failed us.
We're still Ghana here. And when I finished, I then started Berkeley eventually. And I remember I was being interviewed by the vice chancellor there, all that. And the question that was asked of me, and I always remember that. You've left here, you're going. Why should we give you That was a question I asked. And my answer was simple because I think I have something to offer. And I've learned in that process. So my answer to your question, yeah, our generation and my generation is much go back and forth. But I think the issue is what do we need to do for the future of the country? Learn from the past, from what has worked and not worked, and plan for the future. Has not worked, and on that basis, proposing solutions for the future.
Wonderful.
So that's what we're trying to do, and I hope for some common commitments to moving in that direction.
Wonderful. Please put down of what to expect. And I really like the first two questions because this process in topics will be delved into. By the way, the basis of all of this is we the people. There's no way you can tell duty bearers, we the people, if you haven't spoken to the people. Want. Luckily, the people writing the manifestos are here. So they'll carry what we say and put it in the manifesto. And there's also an accountability. We had more time for more questions, but the structure of the program means we have to move to the next in one or two sentences.
What's in the short term, I'm looking over the next years in particular, will be to further discussions with them. I won't go into the detail to so that when we have the election that these are. So that will be one. The second will be next year, make sure that the right policies and institutions are put in place. We want to make sure that all the work we've done, all the announcements together is long term. In that context, success will be making sure that the NDPC role that we mentioned for the continuity is going to be in place with the necessary constitutional. I could go on. So we targets in these areas and how do we implement and monitor them and also have civil society impact. That means continuity. A government comes in 4 years or 8 years, but we have a clearly agreed.
We're done. I think it deserves another round of applause. Yes, I'll just let me. Yes, Madam Otiko, I recognize you. You definitely talk. I actually didn't see your hand. Forgive me. I didn't see your hand, but you definitely talk. You definitely talk. Otiko Afisa Java, good to see you. So I was just announcing to those of you who, and we are streaming live on a few channels. We are streaming on Channel One TV on YouTube. We're live on CTFM on Facebook. We're live on Ghana Compact on Facebook and YouTube. We now want to bring up one of our important arrowheads in the citizens' engagement. Because the NCC is a national organization which is spread all over the country, we didn't want to articulate Director General. I'm not sure what I CEO, DG is always confusing. What are you? Are you chairman? Okay, some are chair. Okay, you are chairman. From the NCCE to offer us a detailed and informative jump into our first panel. So one more time, Kathleen Addy, NCCE Director General.
I must start by saying this is it's really nice to come back here and be part of something fantastic like this. I'm going to try and be as quick as possible because I think that the most important part of this entire process will be the breakout sessions where we have deeper engagement and with ACET for the compact, but specifically for the citizens engaged, do that. This is a cause that we actually believe in. And it's a cause that is aligned to our own objectives as an institution. Proud to say we have been part of the process from the very beginning. Full to be a part of this. And I'm grateful that the NCC gets this platform to be able to deepen the work. The citizens engagement, 7 regions, but we engaged. The first one was youth education and skills thematic area. So it was climate. So the people who participated came from very diverse backgrounds and people who are not in this room. The representation, mainly farmers, traders, artisans, I don't know, can we less importers, transport unions, dressmakers, that is the engine of growth. These are the people we refer to It's the people who run small businesses and keep the economy turning on a this.
Na dwumadi a yɛba Ghana Compact. Me ba ye mabesua ne ma bebree. Na de ba ko a mabesua ne skills ama product.
We are asking from the private sector expanding their own businesses and growing it that will help
businesses.
You know what they see, and they are eager to be a part of the picture, and this is something that has to change. The third thematic area included people drawn from academia, media, and retirees group of people. So private sector development work as an institution without interference to reduce interest was the private sector group. So obviously access to financing was a very reduced to boost exportation and importation of goods purposes. Business registration center very strongly across board, even all the things that are required from businesses in the country, rather skills. These has been highlighted this morning as well. You know, mentioned that they don't see the impacts to something concrete. And educational reforms like which government comes into power, not intentionally PWDs for people with disability. I got a sense from the gentleman education ought to be about how over the years few protocol admissions into institutions, we realize that the educational institutions, they said when the school environment abilities, long-term development plans and that should be well taken care of the national market, and to find international IS levies should be in. That is the 26 engagements per region development, that discussion, and then date engagement. So we drew in participants from the broadest for the engagement. In Ashanti as well, we had 125, Northern Region 143, 3 participants made up of 505 we went through for the compact. It's very similar to what we do as in these civic education clubs are in the, I think we're in about 5,000 schools now. Marcus, in speech, he pointed out that civic education is so embedded from the start of the Fourth Republic. I'm not one to complain much, but as a people, we must understand that we must put it to be able to build ourselves as the citizens that will build the republic, which ideally there should be one in every school, but you know, we make progress. And so we urge the general public, urge everybody to please go and support the civic education club in your high school or in your tertiary that had gone down from the COVID time. And it was something that we're very coming back to the compact, Doctor. We hope that today engagement, and I'm happy that some of the people who participated in these engagements are here with us today. It's all true, they'll bear testimony to it. And for me, the guy from shy away from speaking their mind and getting their opinion heard, which is a great thing. Everything confused. And for me, that alone means that as or experience of that time, which was not too long ago, by the way, means that we voice into the box, willing to be part of the decision making. People love Ghana, Ghanaians love Ghana, Ghanaians are young people also see our potential, the future, and this compact creates that opportunity and that pathway. And so as NCC, once again, forward to comprehensive and fruitful engagements today and tomorrow.
Wow, thank you, Kathleen. Please, you can do better for Kathleen Addy, NCCE. I think we should sort of get a bit of the sound for the video.
We will agree on the declaration, the targets, and the goals to be achieved over the next 25 years.
To talk about the climate change as an in-depth knowledge on the challenges. The first citizens engagement in Eastern region, and we are dealing with the private sector first. We have a number of 40 participants.
Ghana Compacts. Me buy and mabesua ne ama bebre. Na de ba ko a mabesua ne nem skills ama product bi aye bia no etimi akoye.
Challenges they face in setting up their own business.
Small scale businesses no mudie ne bitimi aboama atete ye free ashase na yetimi enyi ewo business flexible to business starters. Point number 2 no, I say there should be startup funds to locally produce goods using our own products no. Yetimi patronize ewo ye nema bebre mu a begidi say nema na betimi anya ni ho faso.
Kamini say edu abato so pene ya omoba bontin ebeye ncheche na minim say omunche
We are not perfect to say there. In fact, a boy in Bebre, ama yetimi, actually, you say, a binding in Sasha, a bit me up boy.
Fantastic. They got a good range present. So I think that discussed.
We want to engage ordinary citizens across the Eastern region, and we're going to technical papers to construct what we're calling a Ghana Compact, which is based on the 18th and 19th of June, where we'll agree on the declaration, the targets, and the goals to be.
Are also 40 participants to talk about society from the Eastern region. They will be able to give us an in-depth knowledge.
Okay, they did. Kathleen, thank you so much. This has been bottom-up, broad-based, shared across about 8 thematic areas. We're going to condense the ideas, hopefully come up with a state that in the video. So what's happening today is like the final stage of putting citizens' voices together. So let your voice be heard. Now, there are 8 thematic areas to just tell us 3 things essentially. So what are the key issues in your thematic area? What are the key actions that people expect to be taking? And what are the targets, right? So key issues, key actions, key targets. Those are the 3 I'm going to add. The breakout sessions today. We'll have the next tomorrow. So today the breakout sessions are youth employment and skills as one. They will be here in this auditorium. Then we have constitution review, which will also. Then we have the gender and equality breakout that's happening in seminar room 6. And then the national development planning breakout, which is in seminar room 2. I'll go through this list again. For each of them, it is Professor Akosia Dakwa, and she will join me on the panel shortly. But Prof, give me a wave. Where are you? Put your hands together for Prof. Wonderful. And her facilitator for that session, which will be happening after this next round, is Patricia Akapo. Where's Patricia? Patricia, where are you? Give me a shout. Okay, yeah, Patricia. Yeah, put your hands up. The program has to hold. Now, the youth employment and skills. Oh, come on, guys. Don't leave me hanging. One deep voice and a shiny head on TV3. Alfred, rise. Let's see your nice head. Yeah, that's Alfredo Kansi. He's doing the youth employment. Let's acknowledge him. And the ageless Israelite. Israel, where is he? Oh, Israel. All right, where is he? He's somewhere. Okay, for today. So happening concurrently. Vision and planning, Dr. Kojo Mensah Brompa. He's the lead for that. He would be on the plenary. The resource lead for the breakout is Twinibu Akodia, who's next to him. Give us a wave, Twinibu Akodia. And then the facilitator is Nana Oparijan. Where is Nana Oparijan? Nana Oparijan. He'll be coming. All right, wonderful. So just to reiterate the point, we have youth employment and skills, constitution review as well. I'm not sure if I break out people to come on stage, ask them 3 questions, same preamble, they answer 3 minutes each, and then we're done with part 1. Is that a good plan? Wonderful. So let me welcome the people for that. So let me welcome Professor Akosia Dakwa. Chance together for Prof. Please come up. Gender equality. Mona, please come up stage. Ebo Texan. Basic premise for all of you. What are the key issues in your thematic area? Wonderful. So, yes. What are the key issues in your session? What are the key actions? And what are the key targets? And by the way, Leslie Dwight-Mensah will lead the fiscal responsibility breakout. Leslie, give us a wave. So what? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here. You've had a lot of things. 2022, we started this process. Prof. Akosia Dakwa, key action second round, key targets third round. So this is round one. You have the floor.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So for us, 15 years, from 2006 to 2021, we've dropped 58 points. We used to be at 58 in 2006. By 2021, it's more than 58 points actually, because we're 117. And that's partly because overtaking us. Over the 15 years, the one major thing we did was to work on domestic violence. So we have a domestic violence legislation in place now. But we continue to have a 40, it's 308 per 100,000 births. In other words, I'm quite sure if I said raise your hands, everybody in this room knows somebody in this country who went to have a child and didn't come back. And that's not something that we should be tolerating in 2020. And yet we can provide the facilities that make sure that you can become in terms of women in STEM. At KNU, things get developed technology-wise. Women in sources they need to be able to grow their enterprises. 4% in the district. This is a country that produced 4 with 14% in parliament. Otherwise, we'll be relegated to
like the succinctness. Let me come to Prof in 3 or 4 bullet points.
Okay, so it's almost above 8%. Our debt to GDP ratio, 15 years afterwards, we're almost at 100-pound markets to borrow to finance our debt goes up. Because our revenues are in the debt service, to the point this is not sustainable. Now, apart from so our debt became unsustainable, raised domestic revenue. In 92 and 2022, we have, but the expenditures keep on increasing. And so forth.
Okay.
In addition to that, call it you've seen the forex. If you look at the asset, it has been very slow. The only thing we've done well, a little bit, has been human well-being. But even so, these are the issues that confront us in terms of the macro stability and fiscal policy.
Okay.
And not until we get around these things, our debts are going to build up and are going to come to the same point.
Very clear. Thank you very much. Let's now come to Mona Idrisu, youth employment and skills. What are the key issues? All right, please switch it. Can I have?
But there's also an aspect on education. So I would like to kick off with talking about areas that we talk about in the compact, and bearing in mind that so you will see that in the compact we focus on primary and secondary education. That's not education at the primary and secondary level. You should be employable. Tertiary should not be mundane. Is how we can improve the FQ. So the free compulsivity of it. We've done great abilities, be it physical and learning disabilities. There's still great that we need to do. We have severely failed them, even in terms of accessibility. You look at this hall, for example, you look around and the accessibility issues are glaring in your face. And this is an auditorium at a university. So we still have a lot to do in terms of that. We also talk about in the paper, looking at the free as this policy has been for young people, especially from disadvantaged back, to reduce its burden on our fiscal space and government. Happening is that the young people in JHS and SHS, so did or middle class folks, and then the study that we did, we saw that there's excess demand can't make it into education, but that's where the jobs are. So how do we begin? Now, if you look around us, no one has to tell. Recently, the phase of unemployment is severe unemployment rates, jobs in certain areas. Fundamentally, we are not in the have the skills, cannot find jobs, and even when there are jobs. Now, the third area that the youth paper also looks at what it means to you as a young person to be Ghanaian. But in terms of civic education, you see a lot of young people chat with political party or the other. Becoming a student leader is so difficult. It's really later on the youth employment and skill.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And 2 weeks, so I'm sure you'll know a lot. At almost all our planning assumptions, Dr. Kewe Amuakon contacted us. You ought to do with the citizens. We engage in this process. But it's very key. There are assets there on the table preparing plans. But and the average in terms of their own and with the district assemblies, experts in preparing field, the setting of NDPC institution. So we need to look at that and be the role of the Minister of Finance links to the long term. And if you're not, it's a missing thing we need to look at. The other one, World Bank, Central Bank poached them.
Okay.
The other one, which is important, and that makes it the national annual program. That's it. What about citizens? So we need to look at that.
All right.
And let me end by saying, it's we, my generation, it's failed. Thank you.
Panel, Prof, what you can do? What do we need to do by when?
I think so. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
It takes whether a girl thinks she can do it. We have set NCCE education program.
Okay.
That gets agenda down 6 months and a year of action. That has been on the cards for 2 days. and get budgeting in place. We talk also on the ring road. If you get beaten, we don't get beaten black and blue. When it's yourself, we are asking that we have
mainstreaming gender budgeting. Yes, you can hear you.
So we need to prioritize on the debt to GDP ratio. The FRA is still under suspension to build a resilient economy. Business of our export sector is close in Ghana, given that almost now everybody needs to invest in technological. As we speak, after 35.
All right.
We also need to increase about 23% by 2020. So at the end of the year, possibly, if by 2030%.
Hard around gender issues. Is there
appreciating, but have we asked ourselves, going to the banks, go for our prices are quoted in Ghana cedis and not indexed to the dollar? Stop. There is a limit with the behavior and ensuring that any.
Let's be clear. I'm not saying the numbers are bad, but it looks so in the breakouts, youth education.
Or in the area of the effect of education adjusted by inflation and looking at should we mean the policy. We're also asking around TVET. We need the inclusivity and equity aspect of education, making sure that we have the equipment and youth employment. Some of the suggestion plays, but now we need to make sure that the National Service Secretariat, because it's one mission to work that they need. We're also, you can go either online and into break information gap for young people to understand. We also ask who has been nearly there, and we need to put pressure to make sure that one of the resounding recommendations we're making is that into our curriculum. It should not be a club that you opt, it shouldn't be at the grassroots level, so that everyone who genuinely wants to participate, if they want to belong to a political affiliation or not.
Wonderful. Thank you. Let's end with Doc. Key actions, key targets, development plan.
Cleaning up of the monitoring system, which is very important, and then also enhancing the funding ability. The target is 2027. With 2028, we're looking at those ones which requires legislative review. Sometimes it has to do with the relationship in terms of to do with also the relationship between NDPC and the cabinet. Here we are currently, NDPC is supposed to advise the president, in fact, in the act, to be able to provide for that. So if you don't have your own personal relationship with that and create that platform, you will never have the opportunity. Decentralization. Because a lot of these processes, it makes it difficult to respond to, makes it difficult for decentralization. But we're still struggling with the fiscal and government.
All right. I'm here at this. We've just had a quick panel discussion involving 4 thematic. Mike, okay, Mona Drisu, fiscal responsibility right from here. And so this was like a pitch. If you want to be in that breakout session, if we don't hear from you, we're going to work with what she has, but we feel you have something to issues. You will be in this session. You will government and skills area. Ooh, you are winning the election. You are winning the election. All right. Gender and equality, Professor Akosia Dakwa. Very succinct. Can I see by hands those who are in to seminar room 6? Charlene, where is seminar room 6? To seminar room 6. Wonderful. Facilitator is Patricia Akakbo. Is that anyone? And skills. Alfred, where are you? You will remain here with her to give the panel. But Leslie Dwight Mensah is the. Where is Israelite? Thank you. Fiscal responsibility is in seminar room. The reason that's where the real issue is downstairs, but they have to go up before they go. So, Teresa, if you can come to this because of that, city dollar issues, long-term vision. Parijan is your facilitator. Where's Nana? 2 downstairs. Again, constitution review for some reason was not mentioned. Why if you're interested in constitutional review, or because we suspect you be small. So, where's Professor Point? Youth employment and skill. Hold on. I think the police band is. So, police band, give us one. Thank you. Please, former majority leader, MP for Suame. So, the reason those of you in constitutional sessions will do half of the work. Basically, the work you went to do, so we have a big plan for the day. So, let me just announce. So, all of you move to my right. The rest of you remain seated. I just want this to be orderly. So, you'll be on the right side. Professor Akosia Dak. Seminar room 6 is up. So, gender and equality, please go up. Please go up. 6. Fiscal responsibility. And then fiscal responsibility, please go. Please leave. So, national development planning, where are we? Where I am. Come here. NDPC, I want you to come. All right. Room 2. Fiscal responsibility, just remain seated. Professor Asafweje is sat in the middle. Go to him. Prof, give me a wave. Good. Constitutional review, go to Professor Asafweje, sat in the middle. Constitutional review, Professor Asafweje. Mami, when is lunch? 1 o'clock? Is that the plan? 1 hour to lunch, so 12 to 1. Who want to do interviews, come to the stage. I have a few people for you. Media who want to do interviews, come to the stage. Come to the stage. All of you come together. Let me just get 1 or 2 for you to interview. Then you go. I'll be out of your way soon. Sorry. Apparently, yes, that's the plan. They say you should talk to the media. Okay, constitution review. We will do it after when Chairman Sabonsu comes. So you can choose any other group. So constitution review, we will not have your breakout session. Madam, we will do constitution review after lunch when Chairman comes. So pick any of the groups. Media. John, maybe you should help with the interviews. Thank you. So media, deal with Professor John Afsafweje and then KY for some quick interviews. Please, I leave you in the hands of 3. Sure.
So 1 hour. 1 hour, yes. Good afternoon. So I think it's
You want to do it outside or inside?
okay. Yes. Right. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the patience as we put everything together. My name is Alfred Okanse. I work with TV3, and it borders on skills, employment. It's going to take the first part of our conversation, all of these other areas. with the names and then also the Ghana Compact. What we'll do is some markers that will be passed around. You would put a green dot to it, or I would ask you to lift your hand if you agree with a particular target. If you don't, you put your hands down. Would differentiate the number of persons who agree with the green dot on the paper, and those who do not agree with the red dot, and those who don't agree, especially those who don't agree. You are the ones who are going to spend a lot of